to her. With a weak smile, Hannah said, "Sure, you can quit any time you want. Let me finish snapping these peas and I'll get right to fixing supper. Get yourself a drink of water and have a seat to cool yourself. You work so hard to provide for us and you look exhausted." Faron put his hands on his hips and pulled back his shoulders. "Elijah can finish the peas. Get to cooking."
"Elijah picked all these in the garden by himself. There are more peas this year than we've ever had. He's just a boy and has done enough for one day."
Faron stalked toward the table. "I'll be the one that decides what Elijah does and doesn't do. Now do what I say if you know what's good for you." Hannah stood and reached out to take Faron's hand.
"Please calm down, Faron. I'll just finish the peas later. Have a seat and I'll start supper right now."
Faron jerked his hand away from Hannah's grasp. "Damn it, woman! Are you deaf? That boy can snap the peas." Elijah shut his book and reached for the pan of peas.
"It's all right, Mama. I don't mind snapping them."
Despite her best efforts to stay calm, Hannah could feel her anger rising up in her like a flood after a storm. Sometimes she just couldn't take the bullying, especially when it came to Elijah. Her face colored and her eyes turned fierce-looking.
"Elijah, take your book to your room and read there until supper. Now go," she ordered.
As Elijah got to his feet, Faron stymied the urge to grab his son and sling him back into the chair. The fear that Hannah would kill him in his sleep reasoned away his impulse. "That's right, you little turd, run off and hide. I'll have your mama make you a dress. You should have been born a girl."
"Faron, why must you torture us? We haven't done anything to you,"
Hannah cried. With a cat-like flick of his arm, Faron backhanded his wife across the cheek. The blow caught Hannah unprepared, and she crumbled like a dress tossed onto the floor. Her head bounced off the wooden floorboards, causing her to lie there stunned. "Woman, you're nothing without me. You and that son of yours would starve to death if I threw you out. Nobody would take you in, not even your own folks. You'll do what I say or else," Faron yelled as he hovered over his wife. When Faron had broken Hannah's arm, she had told Dr. Laurel that she'd tripped and fell. The doctor never questioned her, but she could tell by the way he looked at her that he didn't believe her story. A year later, Faron had punched her in the face. After not being able to eat for 2 days, she had gone to see the doctor out of fear that her jaw was broken. Dr. Laurel had begged her to leave Faron then. The trouble was that she really didn't have anywhere to go. She was the oldest of 10 children. Her parents barely kept the family fed as it was. The last thing they needed were 2 more mouths to feed. She knew she'd made her bed the day she'd married Faron, and there she would have to stay no matter the cost. As Hannah attempted to sit up, the explosion of a gun echoed off the walls of the cabin like a thunderbolt that shook the foundation. Faron let out a bellowing scream and fell on top of Hannah, driving her back to the floor. Faron grabbed the back of his thigh and felt the oozing warm blood soak his fingers. After grasping the nearest chair, he pulled himself to his feet and saw Elijah standing by the peg on the wall that held his holster and gun. His son still held the smoking revolver pointed in his direction. "You little bastard! I'm going to kill you! I've always doubted that a little girl like you could be mine anyway," Faron shouted. Faron limped toward Elijah looking like a man possessed by the devil. His mouth twisted in pain and his brow was furrowed, making his eyes appear small and as black as coal. The boy took a deep breath and blew the air out loudly before cocking the hammer on the Colt revolver. On his first shot, the gun had nearly jumped out of his hands, but this time he gripped it firmly and locked his arms. When his father got within 4 steps of him, Elijah again squeezed the trigger. The bullet struck Faron in the chest and took his feet out from under him. He landed on his back with a thud and let out a long, slow moan. From her sprawled-out position on the floor, Hannah felt confused, unable to comprehend what had happened. She used the kitchen sink to pull herself up to a standing position. As she steadied herself, she noticed a burning sensation on her forehead and gingerly touched the scraped raw skin. She spotted Elijah standing with the gun in his hands and a halo of smoke surrounding his head. His arms were held straight out with the